Oh, yeah, we look forward to our chat with Pat because, you always have fascinating conversations. And who you got today?
Today, I have Samantha Worthing. She's a wife, mother of three, nutritional therapy practitioner, photographer, and avid gardener. She lives in Omaha, Nebraska, where she spends her time homeschooling, cooking with her family, and growing lots of flowers. And we're talking about an article that she wrote for Catholic Exchange called Wisdom from the Saints on Holistic Living. Welcome, Samantha.
Hello.
So good to have you on. I love this article, but before we kind of dig in more and more, can you kind of tell our audience what holistic living is, so they have a sense of what we're talking about?
Right, yeah. So holistic living traditionally is just living in a way that integrates both body and spirit. So a lot of people will see it as not just aiming to nourish your soul through prayer and the spiritual life, but also nourishing your body through healthy food, movement, exercise, all that good stuff.
Yeah. So what got you interested in this whole idea of holistic, living?
Well, everyone has a journey, and mine
Right.
was a lot of health issues that came up. And I didn't necessarily feel like going the conventional route with lots of medication and things was the way that I wanted to go. So I tried to get to the root of things and,
Mm,
work on my gut health and hormones and all that stuff. And I found a lot of answers and healing.
that,
Praise God along the way.
yeah, that is wonderful. So you kind of just took it on yourself then to try to figure this out, or did you go somewhere that could help you with it?
I mean, I looked for a lot of answers, a lot of different places, but the program that I went through to become a nutritional therapy practitioner essentially just kind of teaches you the foundations of health,
Okay.
which is, your digestion, your blood sugar regulation, your hydration, all these things that are just kind of at the foundation of our body's functioning, that if they're not functioning well, then your body's not going to be functioning well.
Wow, that's amazing. I think we certainly do live in a time where we don't we don't know what healthy is a lot of times. So I was really taken by your introduction of numerous saints into this article. You talk about St. Paul, St. Thomas More, St. Hildegard of Bingen. Can you give us an insight into what each one of these brings to that concept of holistic living?
Right, yeah. In my article, when I was quoting the saints, I know as Catholics, we like to talk about suffering, right? And the beauty
Right,
and weight and worth of suffering, which is enormous, right?
right.
Redemptive suffering. And one of the main quotes that I shared in the article was from St. Thomas More, where he talks about how suffering, like we just surrender to the will of God and any suffering that he might grant us. But it's also our job to do our best to care for the bodies that God gave us. So whether that's through nourishing our bodies, nourishing our children's bodies, and then just surrender to what the Lord might give us.
Yeah, I was amazed. Kind of, I never read that from Saint Thomas More. That was, I think you said it was from a dialogue of comfort against tribulation, a book that he wrote. His kind of his receptivity of health, right? How do we suffer, but yet also we're called to take care of our body. And I think a lot of the saints kind of, with the severe fasting, things like that, a lot of people wondered, like, how does fasting, is that good for the body? Does that play a role in my spirituality? How does it play a role? Is it contrary to my physical well-being? Have you looked into anything
Mm-hmm.
like that, Samantha?
Oh, yeah. And I mean, you can find, because fasting is very trendy right now, you can find all
Yeah, it
sorts
is.
of information online. It's like depends on the person what your opinion is on it. But as we know, like fasting is a sacrifice, and even if it might have some health benefits, a lot of people tout the health benefits of fasting.
Right,
That doesn't change the fact that it is hard,
right.
and and it's my personal belief that men and women's bodies are very different. through our apostolate that we have. We speak mainly to women,
Okay.
and women typically do need more nourishment than men, especially when they're in their childbearing years, which is a lot of the women that we're typically talking to.
Yeah. Wow. So tell me a little bit about this apostolate that you're talking about, this ministry that you do.
Yeah, so the Ember Collective is the ministry that I'm a part of where we speak on holistic wellness for the Catholic woman. We publish a seasonal quarterly magazine that contains information on wisdom from the saints, nutrition, reflections on the faith, recipes, whole food based recipes, and all that good stuff. And we recently published our first book through Sophia Institute Press.
Wow, that's wonderful. How can people find that, Samantha? Because I think I know just a lot of women, even women my age that are older, past their childbearing years, but struggle with all kinds of health issues. After you go through menopause, all that kind of stuff. So, where can they find this Ember Collective?
Yeah. I mean, nourishment is for everyone, and we're very convicted about it. So if you go to theember.co, that's our website where you can see a lot of our products there, including our magazine. And the book that we published, if you go to Sophia Institute Press's website, is Feast, Faith, Flourish, Holistic Wellness in Light of Eternity. And that just came out last month.
Can you give us that title again, Samantha?
The book is Feast, Faith, Flourish, Holistic Wellness in Light of Eternity.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. So you also mentioned before we run out of time here, Hildegard of Bingham, who I love. What kind of insights did you gain from her?
Hildegard of Bingen, she's actually our patron saint at the Ember Collective. And she's one that we feel like is kind of not as widely known, even though she's a doctor of the church. And she actually struggled a lot with health issues herself, and she writes a lot about herbs and all of just the beauty of what the Lord has given us through creation to tend to our bodies and help our overall health in addition to, caring for the soul.
Now, when she talks about various herbs, things like that, is that something that, like most people, most women should have? Should they have an herb garden? Is that helpful to them, or is it best just to buy them in the store? Does it make a difference?
Oh, that's a good question. There's actually another book by Sophia Institute Press that they just came out. I think it's called St. Hildegard's Garden, that I haven't personally read, but they talk a lot about herbs and things through her writings in that book.
Yeah.
There's so much out there.
There really is. And I think this is really a hot topic now, too, because we've been talking about how much stuff is in our food, preservatives. We tend to have more chronic diseases, autoimmune diseases now in our country. So, Samantha, I think what you're doing is amazing. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much for having me.